So picture this. You've got this incredible AI assistant, right? It writes code for you, it manages your servers, basically it automates your entire life. And then, one day you wake up and poof, it's crippled. It can't do anything. Well, that's not a hypothetical. It's exactly what happened to a bunch of users of a tool called OpenClaw. And today, we're going to unravel this mystery. Okay, so our story begins where so many of these tech mysteries do, with a bug report on GitHub, filed in the dead of night. A user, going by the handle GDD Crambra, sends out an SOS. Their AI agent, this super powerful tool, was just broken. Suddenly, and for no reason at all. And you can just feel the frustration in this post, can you? This agent was supposed to interact with the real world, writing files, running commands. But now, it was just a chatbot. The very core of what made it so powerful had just vanished, gone without a trace. And I mean, the scale of this failure was just staggering. 1 minute, this thing is a full-blown digital assistant, deploying code, managing whole systems. The very next, it's basically telling the user, nah, you do it yourself. It had completely lost all of its hands-on capabilities. So this all begs a pretty big question, right? What is this tool that can be so incredibly powerful, but also, apparently, so fragile? Well, to solve the case of the broken agent, we've got to go back. We need to understand where it came from. All right, so the project at the very heart of this mystery is called OpenClaw. And it's not some obscure piece of software. It's a massively popular open source AI platform. But, to really get what's going on, we have to look at its past. Because before it was OpenClaw, it had a bit of an identity crisis. So, get this. The project first started out as Claude, C-L-A-W-D. A pretty clever pun, right? Maybe a little too clever, because it attracted some unwanted legal attention. So after a chaotic 5 a.m. brainstorm session, it became MoltBot, which is actually a great metaphor, right? A project shedding its old shell and growing. But finally, they landed on OpenClaw, a name that just perfectly captures its open source spirit and, its lobster heritage. And wow, what a journey it's been. This thing started as just a weekend project, and it just exploded. We're talking over 100,000 stars on GitHub, millions of visitors. This wasn't just some niche tool for a few geeks. It had become a full-blown phenomenon. Okay, so what is OpenClaw really? And why are so many people so excited about it? Well, it all boils down to this really powerful core idea: control and ownership. To put it simply, OpenClaw is basically a framework that lets you run your very own AI assistant. But here's the key. Instead of your data going off to some big tech company's servers, you run the whole thing on your own machine. That gives you complete control. And their motto just captures this perfectly. It's a direct shot at the whole software as a service world, where your data, the AI models you can use, the rules, it's all decided by someone else. OpenClaw is all about putting you back in the driver's seat. And this way of thinking creates a totally different model. With most assistants, your data gets shot up into the cloud. With OpenClaw, everything stays local, on your machine. It's your data. You hold the API keys. And get this, you can connect to over 25 different LLM providers. You get to choose the exact right model for what you need to do. And that control goes all the way down to performance. If you've got some serious hardware, you can run a beast of a model, 120 billion parameters, for the absolute highest quality results. Or, hey, if you just want something fast and snappy, you can run a smaller 20 billion parameter model. The choice is completely yours. But really, the true power of OpenClaw isn't just about the models it can run. It's about what it can actually do. And all of that capability is built on this incredible ecosystem of, the community calls them skills. So skills are basically plugins. They give the agent new abilities. And the community has gone absolutely wild with them. They've built over 13,000 of them. It's this massive shared library of powers for your agent. And these skills cover pretty much everything you can think of. I mean, thousands of them are for coding and development. Hundreds are for DevOps or just automating your web browser. Seriously, if there's something you want to automate, chances are there's a skill for it. And this is what was at stake. This is what was lost when that agent broke. Okay, so let's recap. We have this wildly popular, super powerful, community-driven tool that just stopped working for a whole bunch of people. The investigation, of course, began right there, on that same GitHub issue where the alarm was first raised. The first clues started pointing to a networking problem, something about a gateway. The theory was pretty solid. If the agent can't connect properly, it falls back to a safe chat-only mode.
It made sense, right? But it was a dead end. People were doing fresh installs, and the problem was still there. The real cause was something much, much deeper. So the real culprit was hiding in a feature that was actually designed for security, something called tool profiles. Now, you can just think of these as permission levels for the agent. The messaging profile is super safe. It's sandboxed, perfect for just chatting. But the coding profile, well, that's the one that unleashes the agent's full power. It gives it access to your files, to system commands, the whole shebang.
And there it is, the breakthrough moment. After hours and hours of digging, it's the original poster, Jidik Tambra, who finds it. A recent update had quietly, behind the scenes, switched their agent's profile from coding to messaging. It literally declawed the agent. And the fix? A simple one-line change in a config file. So, mystery solved. It wasn't a bug. Not in the classic sense anyway. It was a configuration change with huge consequences. But that leads to the next question. Why did it happen? Well, an OpenClaw maintainer jumped in and quickly confirmed the root cause. The installation process for brand new users was now defaulting to that much safer messaging profile. And look, it was a well-intentioned change, right? Protect newcomers from accidentally wreaking havoc. But for all the existing users who just ran an update, it felt like their superpowered agent had been completely neutered. The solution, thankfully, was pretty elegant. The core team shipped a quick patch. It changed the default profile for local installs back to coding, bringing back all that power right out of the box. But it also kept the safer option for other situations. And with that, the case was officially closed. So, what are the big takeaways from the case of the broken agent? Well, first, it's a testament to the incredible power of the open source community. You had users who identified, diagnosed, and solved a huge problem all in real time. Second, it's a massive lesson in how much software defaults matter. A single line in a config file turned a powerhouse into a chatbot. And finally, it really shines a light on the central challenge for all AI agents. Because this whole story really boils down to one fundamental question. As these AI agents get more and more powerful, how do we balance giving them the freedom to actually do things with the guardrails we need to keep them and us safe? The messaging profile was safe, but it was basically useless. The coding profile was incredibly powerful, but also way riskier. And finding that perfect balance, that's the next great challenge. And it's one the entire AI industry is racing to solve.